Hey guys, welcome back to the Satan and Sons channel. Today I actually want to talk about a very special and incredible Dark Lord who I've worked with for many years and who's actually played a huge, significant part of my growth and my journey, and that is Lord Satan. Lord Satan is one of the most empowering and incredible demon lords that I have ever had the privilege and the honor to walk with. I know some of you know my story. So when I was a young child, I was slightly enamored with demons, especially Satan, because obviously Satan was the demon, aside from Lucifer, who was written about in most literatures. So I actually read about Satan in the Bible. I only read the Bible basically so that I could read about Satan. I heard about him through various songs, and I remember when the first time I was introduced to the name was actually a Christmas carol. It's God rest ye merry gentlemen. There's a line that says, to save us all from Satan's power. But that I was enamored and smitten with the name. The name just spoke to me on such a profound level. It just called to me, and there was something so familiar about it. There was something so luring about it. And I just started researching that. I started researching, trying to figure out more about Satan, asking questions about Satan. Luckily for me, my parents were pretty open-minded, and they didn't shut me down immediately. So I went on this journey basically of trying to connect with Satan and really trying to understand Satan. And I remember when I was a teenager, I knew I was not cut from the same mold as a lot of people. I had my own style. I had my own way of doing things. I've always been that way my whole life. I mean, my life has been my own. I've never let any one thing kind of define me and shape me. I've always just done what I wanted. So I started experimenting with witchcraft and Wicca because I was exploring. I didn't know. And one thing that I knew, that when I knew that path wasn't for me, it was because when they said there was no Satan on this path. And I'm like, well, there is a Satan. He's real. So anyway, I started looking for other means to connect with Satan. I started looking for other means to connect with demons because they were so integral to my journey. The more I learned about them, the more I just knew that there was a part of me. I've had demon companions since I was 6 years old. Obviously, growing up, I didn't know they were demons. I thought they were spirit companions. I knew they were dark. It was interesting the day I realized they were demons. It was actually a very profound moment for me. It was one of those moments where I kind of illuminated and was like, yes, this is it. This is it. I know exactly what they are. The pieces were coming together. I had completed enough of the puzzle that I had a picture, and it was absolutely a beautiful day. So anyway, I ended up at a Christian camp. I know this is really funny. It's like Christianity guided me to Satan. I should thank them. I should send them a gift basket for that, because it was all Christianity laid the foundation. It's one of the reasons why I've always said that your spiritual path is who you are. I think that we need to give people the opportunity to kind of uncover and find the spiritual path that's meant for them, because for some people it is going to be Christianity. For some people it is going to be, Judaism, Islam, Wiccanism, paganism. It's going to be, a path that they follow. And for some people it is going to be demonosophy and Satanism and walking with demons. And for me, because I had that openness, it didn't matter if I was given Christian literature. I had the choice to choose what I did with it, and I chose, obviously, to research the devil. So it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. So I ended up, this was one of my first, I've been having spiritual experiences since I was a child, since I was 6 years old. So it's been very familiar to me, hearing voices, being connected to them. It's all something that's completely ingrained in my psyche. It's natural to me. But when I met Satan at that Christian camp, it was like coming home. It was just like I had this awakening of spirituality and understanding. I just knew this is what I was meant to do. This is the path I was meant to be on, and these were the beings I was meant to work with. And at that point, I started connecting with Satan more. I did not have any of the ritual books that we have now. I did not have the methods of connection that are available. I did not get the Goetia until after this experience happened. Not that I really liked that ritual. I rewrote it because it was distasteful to me. So my way of connecting with them was through this faith, this childlike faith exploration, where I explored in the energies, I explored in the dark aspects, and I ventured into these areas to meet with them and to connect with them. I can astral project. Astral travel is something that's quite natural to most humans, and it's one thing that came very natural to me. And I would astral project to interact with my spirit companions, with my demon companions. And so I ended up having an experience where I was with Satan at this Christian camp. I was having a bad day. I went for a walk, and I realized I was never going to fit in with these people, and that wasn't the part that bothered me. I knew I never fit in. It was the pressure that was being surmounted on me to conform and to be like them. There was such a kind of like a constricting essence, which my older self would have been okay with that. My younger self, though, had a really hard time dealing with that, just because it was so insidious and so just all around me. So I ended up sneaking out one night and going for a walk in the forest. I love walking at night in the forest. I have very, very good senses for navigating myself, for navigating my surroundings. And I remember this dark forest kind of encompassing me, this dark energy surrounding me and wrapping around me, and I knew it was Satan. I knew he was there, and I knew he was helping me and guiding me through this. And I remember my conversation with him. He said that, I had a very different path than these people, and I always would have a different path than these people, because my essence was of his essence. My essence, where I came from, my soul lineage belonged to him. And so I knew that this was my path, to walk with demons and to experience the world through the demonic divine. That was always my path. And it was like, in that moment, I had such a sense of completion. I just knew myself then. I knew myself. I knew what I wanted to do. I had confidence. When you walk with Satan, but not just walk with Satan, when you uncover that kind of core element of who you are, you end up becoming a beacon of confidence. It's like walking with Satan on my left shoulder. I knew, this was all going to work out. This was going to be okay. This is the direction that I wanted to go. I just had this profound clarity and this awakening, and it's like I accepted in that moment that I was of the demonic, that was my heritage, that was my essence, that was my path, that was a spiritual path that called to me, and it was a spiritual path that spoke to me. It's one thing I always tell people: you need to find the spiritual path that speaks to you. It doesn't matter what spiritual path it is. The one that speaks to you is the one for you. I actually believe that the spiritual world is big enough for everybody. There is no one right path, and no one should be shut out of this equation for their path. There are many different paths. If you look throughout even our human history, there's like thousands of religious paths and spiritual paths which are right for somebody. They're right for the person who walked them, and they're right for the people who connect with those paths. So there is such a beautiful element in just uncovering and embracing the spiritual path that's right for you. And in that moment, that's what happened to me. I had this profound moment where I just connected. I just connected to the energies, and I just knew that this was the spiritual path that was meant for me. And I was meant to walk with Satan. I was meant to connect with him. I was meant to learn from him. And that's when I started learning from him. And he has been such a powerful teacher. I have had so many life lessons, which some of them have knocked me out. Like, some of the life lessons I've been on have been absolutely traumatic and terrible. But he's always been there. He's always been there to lift me up. He's always been there to help carry me forward. And he's always been there to show me how to really get what I desire. He's helped me learn to master my mind, master my energies, and to command the energies around me. That's one thing he's incredible at teaching, is self-mastery. He is the master. He is the Lord of all. And from him, we're not only comforted and encouraged to walk and embrace ourselves, we're encouraged to grow into ourselves, to endure the trials and the challenges and the lessons that life has to share with us, while knowing that he's there helping us. We are going to face them, but when we fall and crash, he's going to be there to help elevate us and lift us back up. I do believe that, and this is a demonic thing, that in order to really grow, you have to have a bit of pain. You got to have some tension. Tension makes diamonds, basically. So when you are put in situations of tension, you're basically creating your intention, and it is through tension that you manifest what you want. And so when I started walking with him, I realized that there was this balance. I was going to be put in situations where I had to grow and learn, but I was also going to be given everything I wanted, through listening to him. And also, one other thing that was really amazing with working with him, I still work with him, is that if I fail, it doesn't matter. I just have to pick myself back up and try again. It's not one of those, oh, well, if you fail the test, you're done. No, it's a learning experience, and sometimes you have to fail a few times. Sometimes you have to walk the gauntlet and mess up a bunch of times in order to really get where you want to go. And Satan, he is seen as the dark divine father, and that is because he is of these energies. He's just absolutely amazing. He's absolutely inspiring, and he is a profound and wise teacher, and he has a lot of wisdom to share with you about yourself. He'll reveal to you the most sacred aspects about yourself, the most sacred powers that are contained within you, and help you kind of awaken them and elevate them. He is one who I can't say enough nice things about him, because he's just so incredible to work with. For those people who do want to work with him, really, with Satan, you can do one of the rituals to call him, but sometimes the call, the connection comes from him reaching out to you. Him reaching out to you to kind of remind you of your dark heritage and remind you of where you're from. I don't believe that everybody's from the light. I believe that some people are from the darkness, some people are from the light, and there is a duality between them. There's a blending. Like we have different paths that we follow. Some are light, some are neutral, some are dark. Every shade in between, there is not just one right path for all. There's many paths. And so when, you're sometimes the beings that you are a part of, that you're connected to, they'll call to you, and they're calling to you to kind of remind you of that birthright and remind you of where you're from. So oftentimes those that are really called to Satan, he will reach out to them, he will connect with them, and he will actually engage them in a way that helps them to grow and kind of helps them to accept the path that they were on, or accept the path that they are meant to be on. He is so comforting too, and compassionate. Like, there's a level of compassion and understanding of what we go through. I found that one thing about Satan is he really has that fatherly element where he understands the tests of the physical world. He knows that they're necessary, and he knows that you have to go through them, but he's going to also give you all the tools you need to face them. He's going to prepare you. There's going to be training involved. There's going to be lessons that he personally gives you so that you can handle the lessons in your life. These are like incredible gifts from him, because you can't really walk. Well, you can. Some spiritual beings like to kind of just throw you into the gauntlet and see how you do. But with Satan, he prepares you beforehand. I found that for everything that's about to happen, I've been given warning about what's going to happen. And even when it's like absolutely terrible, and when I'm in it, I'm like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this. I still kind of knew that this was coming. So it's like, okay, I can't really be upset about this, because, I mean, I knew they're there. They're going to help me. And they do, every single time. Every single time they helped me. Every single time I got what I wanted. Every single time everything that I hoped to attain manifested and came to fruition. That's one of the beautiful things about walking with Satan. Satan is the father of all demons, and he is the lord of the demonic divine. So even when, like, if you call him in a protection circle, he can represent all. So he is the embodiment of all elements and all essences within this plane. So he is the lord of the dark divine, or the demonic divine. The demonic divine is, this is where, see, if you look through kind of our evolution as a species, we have our connection to the natural world, and our connection has risen and grown. And then you have divinity, which rose and was very interesting and in its own way enlightening force upon the world, but it was unbalanced. Divinity, the light side of divinity without a dark counterpart to balance it, is tyrannical, which we saw throughout the Middle Ages, we saw throughout the Crusades. We saw the tyrannical aspect of the light side of divinity. So the dark side of divinity is Satan. The dark side of divinity is the demonic divine, and it is rising right now in order to balance this light. It's rising right now in order to bring balance, to bring clarity, to bring focus, to bring, to stabilize the energies of this world. It's a totally, I've been, the more I've been exploring about things and researching into the energies and the vibrations and how they work, Lord Satan's essence of dark divinity is one that is paired with the light side of divinity. So many times I actually separate the demons from the ancient pagan gods. So I see them as different, and I am going to talk about this later because it's a huge topic. It's like absolutely massive to cover. But I see them as different because I believe that we have to preserve the elements of the cultures that worshipped those deities and see the demonic as what it is, which is the dark side of divinity, the dark essence. There's angels, there's demons, but then there's also gods, the gods and the pagan gods. And there is no, I'm not elevating one above the other. They all have different roles to play in this, but separating the demons into that aspect creates a balance between the light side of divinity and the dark side of divinity. And even in some biblical teachings, you can see that Satan has played the role of God before. So why shouldn't Satan be basically God of the demonic divine? There is a quote in the Bible, which was in one book is said by God and the other book is said by Satan. If they're supposed to be complete opposite deities, why would they say the exact same thing? Satan has also been seen as, Samael, who I don't associate with Satan, but Samael has played the left hand of God as the archangel of, of the poison of God, the judge, the infernal judge, the one who judges the souls, and also the one who kind of understands the sins of man. So he understands those elements. I mean, it's just getting really biblical, but I've been doing, I do a lot of research in all different religions because it's very important to me to make these distinctions. So Satan, though, Lord Satan, he comes in as God of the demonic divine. He is basically the God of the demonic divine and the father of all demons. And so from him, balance is attained, complete balance, the balance of light and dark. It's one thing that is very, very hard to walk on this path, is finding balance. A lot of times people rush into the darkness, they go too dark too soon, they get kind of swept away with immature darkness, and they don't have time to actually understand their darkness and understand their core elements to experience the mature darkness that is within them. And Satan teaches that. Satan teaches us how to balance our darkness, how to find that balance within our soul, and how to transcend beyond the immature darkness and embrace a mature kind of balanced, aligned, empowered darkness, which is a leader. It is a leader and a guide. It doesn't succumb to the temptations and the impulses of immature darkness. It understands itself. And that's one thing that's really important about the human experience, is to understand the dark elements within our being. If we don't understand the dark elements inside of us, that's where we get problems. There's so much that can go wrong. Repressed shadows, repressed thoughts, repressed desires, repressed impulses. As these things, as we fight with our shame and our desire to repress them, they actually get stronger. They get stronger and they begin to control us. Satan teaches us not to feel shame for our impulses and not to feel, the emotional stigma that is surrounding them, and actually integrate them into our bodies so that we become more holistic. That's holistic and balanced. That's how we become whole. That's how we embrace both the light and the darkness of humanity. And it's something that is an absolutely amazing and beautiful thing, and it's something that he has been extensively teaching me. Basically, the whole evolution of the human experience here, and how to move into the next phase of our evolution. That's one thing that's been blowing my mind with my work with him, is he's shown me kind of how our spirituality has both awakened, depleted, and is awakening again. So it's dipped and it's coming back up, but now it's coming back up because it's time for the dark side of divinity to align with the light side, and for us to balance as holistic beings. It's going to be different for everybody. Some people are going to be more light. That's great. Some people are going to be more dark. That's great. The ones who are more dark, though, they don't really have a path right now. There's no guidance to help them awaken the mature darkness. There's no path. There's no guidance to kind of help them bring balance to themselves and to these own dark impulses. And that's one thing that Satan teaches. That is one thing that he brings to the table and helps us to understand and integrate into our being. It is something that is so incredible, and it is such an amazing gift that he has shared with us. So, yeah, that is Lord Satan. And, well, my work with him, I could literally probably talk for an hour, but I'm going to end it here. I'll probably be talking about him in other videos because he's just so incredible and amazing, and I just adore working with him. So thank you everybody for watching this video. If you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit the little bell button so you always get notified when we have a new video coming down the channel. We've been posting pretty regularly. We've been doing once a week. We want to start doing more. Yeah, and we love having you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us and our channel, and I will see you all in the next video. If you have any questions, comments, or things you want to hear, just drop them below in the comments section, and I might answer them in the next video. Till next time, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye!